happy. Jared Poland. Fro knows. Is my hair cut off, Casey? Just checking. Fro knows babies today. And I'm here with Bill, Casey, and Little Billy. Can I call him Little Billy?
Yes, you can.
Hi, Little Billy.
What up?
What up? So what we're going to do, we're just going to play around and take some photos. We have a 10-week-old, which I don't believe in weeks. I like the whole...
He's 71 days.
71 days. That's better than, like, he's 10 weeks. I like 2.5 months. But anyway, we're going to try to photograph some baby pictures. Bill has a D90, which you've had for quite a while now.
Yep.
He's got a ProMaster lens. When did you get a ProMaster lens, by the way?
About 20 years ago.
20 years ago.
It wasn't mine. It was a hand-me-down.
It was a hand-me-down?
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to find different locations in the house, different angles, we're going to show different lenses, different settings. We're going to figure it out as we go along because I really don't have a script to follow right now because it's all about just improvising and seeing what works out the best, seeing if Bill has any questions on settings and lenses and whatnot, and we're just going to shoot and see what we come up with and get some cool pictures of Little Billy. Sound good, Little Billy?
Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back. So I want to try something a little different today. That's basically talk to this camera, have the screen flow running while I'm not editing, but looking and talking about the photos, and then switch back over to here where we have the webcam going and basically talk to you about the photos and the photo shoot. So as you heard, I was at my buddy Billy's house, William, as we call him. Anyway, Bill. So he and Casey, his wife, I shot their wedding, and they have a little baby boy named Billy, and they asked me to come over to take some pictures. So I figured I would go over and photograph the kid. I mean, he's literally, what do you say, 72 days old, 75 days old, so he was 10 weeks old, which is really, really young, obviously, and we were all ready to shoot, and guess what he did? I mean, I took video of the whole thing, but what happened is Billy literally fell asleep right after we stopped taping that first introduction, and you could see that he was falling asleep. So some of these first images, you can see right up here in the corner that Billy has fallen asleep. And there's not much you can do with him when he's sleeping. So that is something that you have to look out for. Try to get into the pattern of when the little kid is going to be sleeping so that you're not there when he or she is sleeping. So that's a tip or a recommendation that I didn't even think about until I actually ran into the situation. So here you can see Bill taking a picture of his little son while Casey is holding him. Also, look at the backlight. So he's shooting into the light. I would probably guarantee you that those photos didn't turn out too well, being that he's shooting into the window, and it's just going to be really bright coming in back towards him. Sure, he may be able to get Billy exposed properly, but it may not work too well. And I got to remember to switch to over here. So when you're out, shooting, look for where the best lighting is. In this case, on the there's a big windows just coming in. So taking Billy and his mom, Casey, over to the other side of the sofa will allow that light to come in. The only problem we ran into was Billy was sleeping. So what I want to do is more of the candid interaction shots between the whole family here. And I love this shot. I like that you see everything in the family room. It's bright. You can see Casey's holding Billy for Bill to take a picture of, and I just like this image. So we'll move on to the next one. Same thing. You can see that he's sleeping, and that was kind of frustrating at first. And I got to say that I basically left the images. I left the images alone for a while. I did an initial edit, and I wasn't really happy with what I captured. And I came back 2 to 3 weeks later to re-look at the images and re-edit them. And then I realized that they were really not that bad. There were some really strong images in there early, even though Billy was sleeping. So, here he is, he's sleeping. So what do? Well, she's holding him, so I just captured some shots like this in color, nice soft light coming in, focusing in on the hands. Again, these are not cropped. This is where a macro lens would have come in handy, but I left my 105 macro at home, so I try not to leave lenses at home when I should have brought them, but I forgot a bunch of things that day. My mind was in some random place, I guess. So you can see that he's sleeping, and then let me tell you something. And then they basically let him go to sleep. Actually, they went to feeding time because he was getting hungry. So feeding time's good. The kid, you know he's going to wake up right after that because now he's going to be energized with food in his belly. And so at the very end of this, you're going to see, I think, 7 minutes of me and Bill just sitting down discussing the photo shoot. But what happened is while we were doing this discussion, I already packed everything up because, you know, Billy was getting fed and he was going to go lay down or he was going to go do whatever. And so at that point, we only had shots of him sleeping. We didn't really have too many really cool, fun, eyes open type shots. And then we finished doing that recording, and guess what? Billy came down with Casey, and he was wide awake, ready to photograph, but I was already done packing everything up. But I said, you know what? I can't let this go. He's ready to go. Let's just take some photos. And that's what we got right here. So Bill recommended that we put Billy face down, you know, on this sofa thing, the ottoman thing that was right in the middle, and it worked out really well. Great light coming in through the window. You know, Billy, really cute kid, he's just looking over at the camera. How amazing is that? He didn't cry, he didn't do any of that stuff. He was just really, really happy and smiling. So that is a shot that we got. And then Bill was talking to Billy. This is a great interaction shot. So yeah, I was there to do some portraits, but my forte are candids. And the candid moment that's captured here is Bill looking in at Billy, and you know, look at the eyes, look at the connection. Being that Bill was in the, you know, the window lights coming in from over here, Bill basically, I had to play with the editing a little bit to bring his face back a little bit, but didn't want to lose Billy over here because that is the focus of the photo. So what we learned is that basically moving Billy around and letting him just rest and lay there made for some great photos. Look at this, great color. I was using the 70-200 2.8 on the Nikon D3S. Really, really like this. Same thing here, just playing around. Then we brought in a pillow and propped him up so that he, that he could see. He's not looking at me in this case. What he's actually looking at is Bill, his dad, who's taking photos of him, which we're going to see as we move forward. Because look, here you can see Bill is photographing little Billy, and Billy is looking really intently in on the lens. It's really, really cool. I love this interaction. This is a great, you know, it was a great interaction that he woke up. And I think these candid images, after a while, tell a great, great story. This one I used for photo of the week because you can see Bill on the left-hand side. Click Billy's head, Billy's face if you missed that photo of the week, and I'll show you how I edited this photo in both color and black and white. So be sure to click that, and it will take you to that video. Then there's the hands going on. There's always hands and baby's feet. And then just the interaction of, you know, Bill, just, I mean, look at the look on the little kid's face. Look at him. He's looking up, I love my dad. And he's only 10 weeks old. It's just great. So Bill was just interacting, playing around, and then, you know, I put them on the sofa, just said, do your thing, and just took these candid images of them interacting. And I love tighter shots where you get the parents in it, but the focus is somewhere else. And in this case, it's on the fingers. Weird look on Billy's face on this, but you know what? It was the best that we could get out of him for this. But I actually really love this shot. Just look at how they're just, Billy's just laying there, and the mom and dad are just looking in. This is a great image that you could really hang on the wall and look back at for years to come. So this is a, you know, I like this photo a lot. And then Billy just laying there again. Same thing. Hello, I've got drool on my face. And then I went for some of this stuff. So what I did here is, you know, I saw that Billy was in the foreground and that Casey and Bill were in the background, and said, why don't I focus on, you know, little Billy and blow out the background with the parents there. Sure, it could be cliche, but you know what? I was there. It stood out. It looked like something I should do, and that's what I went ahead and did. So there was one where Billy was looking away, and then Billy lifted his head up, which he's starting to be able to do right now, and I told them to kiss in the background, which we did the whole time we had their wedding. So, you know, there you go. Hey, Billy. And I'll just move through the last ones of these pretty quick. But these are just really, really sweet photos. I like them, using all natural light coming in through the window, and this brings us back to the very beginning. So all in all, the photo shoot turned out pretty well, but it took 3 weeks for me to realize that it actually worked out really well. So you know, what can you take away from this? You can take away that, you know, you hope that the kid is rested and that he's awake and that he's happy and that the parents are fun to interact with. And, you know, keep in mind that you could prop the kid up. I also made sure that he wasn't going to fall. I'm just like, not going to fall anywhere. I don't want to have that happen. So look for the good light, the light, natural light coming in. And then don't be afraid to try to blow out the background. Or, you know, just direct them a little bit. And then try some candid shots. Candid images really, really mean a lot when you're photographing. They just really, you know, show something natural, more so than setup, but that's obviously what a candid is. So coming up right now is a little discussion that I had with Bill right after this photo shoot, and you can tell that, you know, we were both I was a little down because I thought I wanted to get better pictures, and at this point, like I said earlier, we only had photos of, you know, Billy sleeping, and that was about it. But, you know, here it is. I hope you guys enjoy, and I'm sure I will sign out of this video at the very end of Bill and I having the discussion. So thank you for watching, and I hope that this 2-camera angle thing can work. I hope you like it. So here's the video. All right, Bill. How do you think that went?
Come see, come saw.
Thanks, Lil. Thanks for throwing that in there. A little difficult, right?
Yeah. And I think this is a good thing for us to talk about for people who might have little kids that are going to sit down and think they're going to just put their kid down and get the perfect session, all the perfect shots in one sitting. It might not happen.
I mean, this is new to me. I haven't really photographed little kids, as in little, in babies.
Yeah.
I mean, I can photograph kids. Give me a 2-year-old to throw in the backyard.
Right.
Not literally throw them, but let them play, you know, run around. I'm going to capture things because they're doing things. This is more of, you've got to be creative. Not saying that I am not creative. We did get some great photos. It was a great suggestion you had to put him face down on here, facing into the light.
Yep.
But that's very traditional. It's like the same type of shots that you see all the time. And I don't like creating the same type of shots that you see in the studios or laying them just, you know, balling up some blankets and having them sit there and go, yee. I mean, they're nice. There's a place for that.
Yeah, and it could be that that's such a typical shot because it's an easy one to get. You know, I mean, we tried so many different angles and positions, and it's just, you know, at this age, he's
difficult.
He's moving his head around. I mean, the window of time, at least for our kid, for being happy was pretty small, and it was when you were here. You got here, he was happy, you were setting up all your stuff.
And he fell asleep.
And then he fell asleep. And then it was time to eat, and that's where he is.
And that's where he's eating now. But the whole thing with this is the shots that I looked at, you know, when I previewed on the camera, some of the ones that were interesting were the interactions between you and Billy, and then the three of you together, because it gave it some context. So when I was photographing, just like you literally peeking your head in here, and Billy's looking at you, that gave it some interest. When I was just shooting Billy there, it's a baby,
right?
You know, and those are great pictures to have.
Sure.
But for what when I'm looking at images or trying to create, it's like I'm looking for those interactions.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm used to doing, capturing those candid moments between people in situations. And when we tried a few things like with the 14 to 24, just didn't work in here. It's just one of those things. I thought I saw it in my head, and then when I went to shoot it, I was like, that's not going to work.
Yep.
So you find that it's not always going to be the perfect session.
Yeah, there's a lot of trial and error.
So I don't know what kind of video I cut to this already, because this is the ending of the video, but I think it's good to show this, that not every shoot is going to be the greatest shoot in the world.
Right.
But I'm sure that we did come out with a handful of shots that are going to be really good shots.
Yeah, I think so. And you know, it's something you just kind of got to keep working towards, and you know, don't get discouraged if your one session is not perfect.
Well, and I got upset because I didn't bring the macro. I should have brought the macro, because the little babies, even to do the traditional shots of the hands and the feet, which are great shots in black and white or in color, I didn't bring it, so I'm going to have to do it the next time. But keep that in mind. If you don't have a fisheye macro. Did I say fisheye before?
You said fisheye.
I did.
No, before you said macro.
I said macro. Yeah, the macro, you're going to get those traditional shots of, like, say, Billy's hand like this, and then the little baby Billy going like this. And I was trying to do it with the 70 to 200, and I just seemed very limited, because I couldn't get close enough to focus. And I'm not going to crop later, we know that. So that's where having that macro lens would have been a better choice. So it's a whole lot of learning experiences just from being out here. Did you pick up anything other than it's just It takes time?
I think everything that I've been learning about photography applied here. I think the difficult part is, you know, you have a subject that doesn't necessarily cooperate. You know, you think he's in a good position, and he's not like us where we can just hold it, you know, and
he blinks.
Right, his head kind of, you know, bobbleheads, and you know.
And what I was looking for when you were holding him together, I was looking for his eyes to come up, and then you two would be smiling at me, but it happened, and then one of you were blinking, and it's just, he wasn't cooperating in that. But it is what it is. You try to deal with it. You make it happen. You can't force these things. And I mean, you know, you came up with some of those good suggestions where to put him, and that really works. So it's a lot of trial and error. And if you have a little kid, you have lots of time to take lots of photos.
Sure.
But the light coming through the windows, there's plenty of light in here. We got our settings right, and the next step is getting it into the computer, seeing what we have, processing it, and make it work.
Yeah.
That's all I got, Bill.
It was fun.
So I shot your wedding, and now we shot your little kid. You gonna have a little girl next?
We'll see.
All right. Well, how long until you shoot raw again?
No comment.
No comment. I'm sorry.
That's right.
You do have a shirt, right?
I do.
Which color do you have? Black?
I have the heather gray. Oh, I have.
Oh, you
I
have
don't have the I Shoot Raw. I have the
JaredPolin.com, the original.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to bring you an I Shoot Raw shirt. Sounds good. I got to get a baby bib for the I Shoot Raw shirt.
There you go.
All right, so we're going to wrap it up. Bill, thank you very much for allowing me to come in and try to do this.
Thank you.
We'll see what we get. We'll hook you up with some prints. Maybe we'll have Adorama send you a poster or something. I don't know.
Whatever. I'll send you my shots, too. There might be one decent one in there.
And then as he gets older, we'll start, like we talked about those portraits that I did on the beach.
Yeah.
That just so happened, well, that was a little baby, too.
I think they had 2 kids.
They had 2 kids. They had a little older, and then the other one, I don't know, I guess maybe because the baby was cooperating. He wasn't as fidgety.
I think that kid might have been in, like, walking-ish stage.
Well, one of them was walking, and the other was probably 8 months old.
Okay, yeah.
When do they start walking? Because I know none of this.
It depends.
Ballpark?
Could be, an advanced kid could start walking at 9, 10 months.
Okay.
It could be a year and a half, you know.
All right, so the kid was a little older, so he was moving around a little more. So all these things you have to take into consideration, play around, get your settings right, and then it's just a matter of cooperation and trying to find the right angles and trying to persevere through things that may not be working out to your liking. It happens. All right, let me make sure that my microphone was on. My microphone was on. I hope they were all on. All right, Bill, thanks again.
All right, thank you.
Casey, thank you. She can't hear me from here?
I guess not.
She's feeding.
Yeah.
Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya.
See ya.